Hello, this is Mindy from the Weekend Gardener, and today I'm going to show you a unique way of propagating an amaryllis bulb. Now, some of you may be familiar with separating the bulbets that may be forming on your amaryllis bulb once it's several years old. With this technique, I can actually get 4 bulbs out of one. So let's begin. First thing that we need to do is we need to learn a little bit about the amaryllis bulb. An amaryllis bulb reminds me much like an onion, how it has this papery covering on it. And I have a reason why I'm doing this, because I want to show you what a scale is on this bulb. Because knowing what a scale is going to be a very important part of this process. So we're going to remove this paper coating here. Now you can utilize this technique on a new bulb, which this is, or you can utilize it in a technique of an older bulb that you've had. You can actually use this technique while there's leaves still on the bulb. Now this white membrane here is what is called a scale, very much like an onion. In this process, you're going to need at least 2 scales per cut. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my bulb in half. And you want to make sure that you keep some part of the root mass when you do this. Now, if you have a really large bulb, you can actually get more than 4 cuts or 4 pieces of this bulb. So you just have to play it by ear, depending on how big your bulb is. Now, as you can see, I have 2 scales. I have this scale here, right here, and I have one underneath. I'm going to repeat this process with the other half of the bulb. Now, the next part of the process is the most important. You're going to need to apply a fungicide, either in a powder form or in a liquid form, which I taught you how to do in a previous video on making a natural fungicide. So, if you want to explore that, check out that video. That will be very helpful. Once you've applied the powdered fungicide or the natural fungicide that you've made at home, you will need to plant your amaryllis bulb as usual. Don't bury the bulb like you would do typical bulbs like tulips, hyacinths, things like that. You will actually need to only plant it making sure that the root is covered and only about between 1/2 to 2/3 deep. And we have covered that in another previous video. So if you're really not sure how to do that, check that video out also. So give this a try. This is a great way of extending or expanding the number of amaryllis bulbs you have, or actually sharing your amaryllis bulbs. So until we meet in the garden again, this has been Mindy from the Weekend Gardener.